Hi, this is Apad for Shanzai.com, and we're here with another tablet review for you. And today we're staying up in the larger category of tablets with yet another 10.1 device. Now this particular device is the Apad M1001, which we'd like to start off with a look at the box, which is, again, your typical Shanzai box. So not getting too creative too often in these. We're always excited when we see a little bit different box, but the typical box with the product insert set there. The product itself comes popping out of here, and it actually comes with very few items, but you don't need too many in the first place. It comes with a USB connection, an adapter from the mini USB to USB connection, some headphones, which is nice because some of them aren't including the headphones anymore, but it's nice to see they're still there, and of course your adapter. So that's your basic kit that comes with the Apad, and there's the actual device itself. Before we go into the actual device and go all through the hardware and look around the device a little bit, we're going to do a quick comparison with the device that we reviewed last, which was the WinPad W7, or sorry, the WPad Win7. Now here's the two tablets. They're both 10.1 inch screens. If you look at them just at the screen, they're identical in size and layout. But I think the important thing to note when you compare these two tablets is, well, they're priced significantly different, so that has one aspect of it. But one of them is an Atom-based processor platform, which is what was the device we reviewed the other day. And today's device we're looking at is going back to the ARM processor. What does that mean in this particular case? The most self-evident things are the size and the weight. While they're very close in terms of actual size of dimensions, the weight of the devices is completely different. We're looking at almost half the weight difference. The Apad, when we measured it, came out to approximately around 500 grams, whereas the WPad was in the 900 grams neighborhood. And really, you might not think that's a big difference, but when you're holding that in your hand and you're playing with it around with it, or you're watching a YouTube video for any length of time whatsoever, you really do notice the difference. And I have to say, it's really impressive how lightweight the Apad is. To give you a bit of reference point on that, the iPad itself goes from 730 grams to about 680 grams, depending on whether or not you've gone for the 3G module or not. So let's take a look at the actual hardware of the Apad itself. As I said, a 10.1 inch screen. It's got a 1024 by 600 resolution that they're claiming for the device, and you can see that it's a resistive touchscreen, so it's not quite as bright or as nice as the capacitive touch of the products that we reviewed the other day. Keep that one on there. But let's look around at the hardware here. We've got on the one side here all of the I/O basically in one place, two mini USB connections there, a headphone jack, and also a tiny little hole for the power supply connection. That's pretty much it for the I/O on the device, which is actually quite nice. If we look at the back side of the device, you can see it's sort of beveled into a round shape around the edges, which also takes some of the weight off of the device, as we were talking about. And it's got the MID, or MID, branding on the back. Clearly they had this product in some planning for some time before the tablet nomenclature sort of took over for pads and tablets. The device has also got an interesting little glass edge all around the outside of the device. The clear glass actually looks kind of nice, and one of the cool things about it is you can't see any fingerprints on the clear glass, whereas everything else on all of the other devices we go with the black piano glass finish, you can see fingerprints everywhere. So actually the clear glass is kind of smart. Maybe they should use it all over the device, and maybe we'll be seeing the innards of these PCs in the future. So inside and under the hood of the Apad, we've actually got the familiar Telechips processor, this time spec'd out at 720 megahertz, probably slightly overclocked again from its usual 600 megahertz. And as we know from past testing of that, one of the things that's quite good about that Telechips processor is how it handles video. In this case, I think we'll bring up a YouTube video for our test here so you can see what it looks like with an online video. I think it's really well suited. The wide screen, although it is the same aspect ratio as some of the 7-inch size devices, because it is a little bit bigger screen size, actually seems to fit the entire YouTube video nicely on the screen, and actually it really does make a difference. If this was a longer playing video or film, you could really imagine it being much more enjoyable than on some of the smaller size devices. So the video playback is smooth as is typical of the Telechip processor. and really the picture and image clarity is good. I think it's really quite impressive for the YouTube experience on the device. It's one of the things that really hit me most about the usability of the product. Of course, everything looks better in the bigger widescreen, including Google Maps, and that's one of the interesting things about the device, is that it does include access to the app market, at least on the unit that we received for review, Gmail, Maps, and YouTube, of course, which we showed as well. So all of those are already included on the product. It is running on Android 2.1 though. And now that we're seeing 2.2 starting to become more common, we're hoping to hear that they've got an upgrade path and expect to have an update that you can download to improve it to Android 2.2 yourself. That would improve the value of the product to me considerably. One of the other things that we wanted to point out is, of course, that it's got a G sensor, and actually, for the first time in the Shanzai tablets that we've reviewed, not only is the G sensor quite responsive, but it actually does the full 360 degrees of G-sensing. Some of the tablets we've reviewed have only done 270 or even only 180 degrees for some reason, but this one's got your full 360 G-sensing effect, which is actually quite good. Of course, a key area for your tablet purchase, and also something that the widescreen should excel at, is the browsing experience. Let's bring up some bookmarks with some of our favorite sites. Why don't we go to, how about, what am I feeling like today? Let's go check out the New York Times. So actually, the browsing speed is fairly fast. It's not, again, quite as fast as the tablet that we reviewed yesterday with the Atom processor inside, but there it is. Once it's found it comes up nice and quick. You can see the widescreen really fits easily the entire width of the New York Times there easily, and it's not bringing up the New York Times mobile edition, which is also nice. For a tablet this size, you don't want to see the mobile type of content. You want to see the actual get in there with your goodness of the device and see the full content that you would get on your regular PC. So, you know, pictures are turning out clear. It is Android 2.1, so there's no flash support. You're going to not see that, so you'll have to be skipping any embedded videos or flash content. But other than that, I would say most of the browsing experience is quite nice, and again, it's easy on the eyes in this particular form factor. So to wrap things up for the Apad M1001, I think it's actually a pretty good device. Again, as I said in the written part of the review, it has really kind of convinced me that it is possible to go to a bigger size and not think it's completely portable. The iPad's too heavy for me. Definitely the Atom-based device that we reviewed yesterday was too heavy for me for carrying around. But I could almost see myself carrying this device around because it is quite a bit lighter. Still got a nice solid build quality to it. For people who really think they're going to be watching a lot of video and doing a web browsing as their primary usage scenarios for the tablet, I can see how this might really be a good choice for that. Again, it's still not going to be quite as portable as some of the smaller size devices like the 7-inch. You can't put it in your pocket. It's not a hands-free tablet experience. It's something you're definitely going to have to carry around with you or have in a case. But for performance-wise, we've seen the Telechip processor several times in other devices on par with that for almost everything. But where it really shines in the video and the web browsing. So if those are your concerns and factors, take that all into consideration, and probably maybe this is a device that you would want to have for under the Christmas tree. We're looking at a price tag of under $200, so that infinitely makes it more attractive if money is your issue than say your x86 based tablets that we've looked at, which are over $400.